PrymalChaos. Hey guys, PrymalChaos here. Welcome to the channel. It's been a minute. I've been doing some renovations around here. We had a bit of a flood in the studio and I thought I'd take the opportunity while I was ripping up the floor to pull the entire room out, bust down some walls. I got rid of the live room at the back. There's a whole bunch of things that changed. And it's given me about a month and a half of zero spare time, and that's why I haven't been uploading lately. But I'm back. And I'm going to start with something. I don't know how this one's going to go, but I suspect that there's an audience for this one, right? Long-time viewers of the channel would know that I've had some experience working in record stores. And along with that, you garner a lot of knowledge about artists that aren't really your thing, but you know that they must have a following because, you know, let's talk André Rieu, right? Now, this is how I've been told his name's pronounced. I'm going to mispronounce a lot of things in this episode. You can either deal with it or you can just help me out in the comments. Let me know if I'm saying something wrong. You know, the strange thing for me about André Rieu is how prolific he was or is. He has so many releases constantly. I know that he's a violinist or a viola player. I'm not sure. I'm assuming violin based on the size of it. It looks like a violin. And I know that he composes these extraordinary live events that, you know, people, it's like a pilgrimage. People come from all over the world to go to wherever he's playing and watch him perform. And so there must be something there. And I know this because, you know, every 2 months or something, another DVD would come out of a live show. And again, the same like cabal of people would come in and they'd be like, okay, where's the DVD? Show me where it is. I'm going to buy it. That obviously invest in his entire collection. So there's definitely something there. That's about all of my extent of who André Rieu is. As I said, it's not typically my thing, although I don't know that because I never really checked. But that's what this channel is all about. It's finding artists that I regret not knowing more about. And that's why we're here. I'm going to dive right in. Before I do, I just want to say this video today is brought to you by Enchroma. Enchroma make glasses for colorblind people like myself. If you or someone you know might be colorblind, jump on the link in my description. It'll take you to their website where you can get a free eye test, find out what kind of deficiency you have, and maybe while you're there, you can pick up a pair of glasses that'll help you see the world a little bit more like everyone else. Here we go. I'm going to dive right in. 15-year-old, now this, again, pronunciation, it's going to be an issue. 15-year-old Emma Koch, I'm assuming, sings Voilà, André Rieu, Maastricht, 2003 official video. Help me out in the comments. How do I do on any of that pronunciation? Here we go.
Haar broertje heeft zijn podiumdebuut hier bij ons gemaakt, op het Vrijthof. Her little brother had his first performance on stage here with us on the Vrijthof. I still see him sitting there between the violins.
Wow, that's really cool.
And now he is a fantastic violinist. Hij is een fantastische violist nu. U herinnert het zich misschien ook. Ik heb het over Enzo Koch. And Enzo has a little sister, Emma. Unfortunately, Emma has a rare but terrible disease. Her stomach is paralyzed. She cannot eat. All the food goes through a little tube directly into her stomach. But Emma is a brave girl. She wants to live a normal life, and Emma has a dream.
This is going to be one of those ones where I cry on YouTube, isn't it? Okay, I'm just preparing myself.
She has a beautiful voice. She wants to be a singer. She did the voice kids here in Holland, and immediately she won. She created a foundation to raise money to study this terrible disease and perhaps even in the future cure it. Emma, I think, is an example for all of us. Give her an enormous applause. There she is, Emma Koch.
I'm already getting emotional. Oh, wow.
Moi la chanteuse à demi parler de moi, à vos amours, à vos amis. et de son rêve fou.
Wow.
Moi, ce que je veux, c'est écrire des histoires qui arrivent jusqu'à fond.
Oh, wow.
C'est tout. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis. Mais voilà mes messies, mes années j'apporte. Oui, mais voilà tout le bruit et tout le silence. Regardez-moi, oh, de moi c'est qu'il reste. Regardez-moi, avant que je me déteste. Quoi vous dire que les lèvres de notre ne vous diront pas ces petites choses, mais moi, tout ce que j'ai, je le dépose là. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis. Mais voilà mes messies, mes années c'est fini. C'est mes gueules, c'est mon cri, mais vous voilà tant pis. Voilà, 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 voilà juste ici. Mon oreille, mon vie, comme je crève, comme je ris. Mais voilà tout le bruit et tout le silence. Ne partez pas, je vous supplie, restez longtemps. Ça me sauverait pas, non. Me faire se foucher pas comment. Aimez-moi comme un ennemi qui se va pour toujours. Je veux quand même, parce que moi je sais pas, il me met mes contours. Voilà, 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 voilà qui je suis. Mais voilà mes messies, mes années je cours, oui. Mais voilà tout le bruit et nous le firons aussi. Regardez-moi fort et mes yeux, aimez-moi. Tout ce que j'ai ici, c'est ma gueule, c'est mon cri. Mais voilà, mais voilà, mais voilà. Voilà, voilà, voilà,
They're doing a key change. Oh, no.
Voilà, voilà qui je suis. Mais voilà même ici, mes années c'est fini. C'est mes gueules, c'est mon cri. Mais voilà tant pis.
Bravo. D'accord. Ah ben.
artists will go their entire careers to have a peak in their career like that. Imagine having that kind of performance at the age of 15. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's to be that profoundly confident and so mature in your performance at 15. It just doesn't make sense. And occasionally you see these phantoms come along and they're able to do that. You know, there's I mean, I've done several younger artists on this channel and they're always sort of able to do that, but you just don't see it in the wild, you know? And I suppose that's why these people make it to the top and we get to see their performances, because there's something about them that's just, it's beyond age, right? There's no accounting for it. It just doesn't make sense. And I mean, let me know in the comments, is she actually French? Because I mean, I don't speak French, but to me, it sounded like her French pronunciation, her French. I'm scattered. I'm sorry. The pronunciation of the lyrics were, to my ear, actually really good. I mean, I'm not going to say flawless because I'm not a native French speaker, and I'm sure somebody in the comments is, and they'll be like, that sounded nothing like what, you know, like how it was supposed to. But I mean, to me, it sounded beautifully articulate and well, you know, vocalized, right? I mean, I had all of these things that I was checking off while I was watching it about, oh yeah, okay, when I'm trying to hold myself together, where I'm like, oh, that's interesting, or that's interesting. But fundamentally, it's the little things are kind of irrelevant. It's more, there's a magic to what that performance was. There was, you know, such confidence and such strength and such power from such a small human, a small young, I want to say immature, but without meaning immature, right? Because the maturity level there is it's reaching for the stars at this point. The confidence in her performance, like being able to stand in front of an orchestra like that, I mean, these people are all the elite to the top of their game. You don't get to play with André Rieu unless you know what you're doing. To be able to hold your own against those people is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it must be an incredibly talented family, you know, with her brother playing violin in the same ranks, you know, same sort of thing. But there was soul and heart and beauty in that performance that transcends youthful aping of performances that you're obsessed with. We've all seen children who become obsessed with artists, and they will base their entire musical proclivities around that person or around a couple of people, you know, and they'll grow up and they'll be able to sing exactly like Whitney or exactly like, you know, whoever. But then you get young artists who are able to transcend that, and they just are their own artist. And the people, rather than having artists that influence them, the artists that would influence other young people are these artists' contemporaries, right? They're the people that they're standing shoulder to shoulder with. And I think that's the difference. I think, you know, artists like Angelina Jordan as well, incredibly young, but again, her performances don't sound performative. They sound like the music is being channeled through her, and she's kind of like she takes, it's almost like she's, a muse is working through her, right? A muse that's older and wiser and eclectic and skilled and brilliant. And they're using her body as a vehicle for producing that sound, as opposed to a kid who's listened to a lot of, like, you know, Billie Holiday or something like that and can sound like them if they try really hard. It seems different. It's almost like they're possessed of a muse, right? And so I see the same thing here. I don't see any hint of, you know, I watched somebody else sing this and I can sing it the same. This feels 100% like Emma's performance, right? And that's the thing that always takes my breath away. It just, you know, where do they find these connections, this flow state, to be that incredible when it doesn't appear that there's been enough time in their lives for them to have attained that level of focus. And I mean, there's practice, and there's, you know, having great coaches and things like that. And I mean, maybe that goes a long way, but I think you have to have that in you innately. You know, there's got to be something about you that allows you to draw from the universe around you and project that out as the magic that it is. At the start, one of the first things I wanted to do before I completely became a train wreck, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is she does, in her higher register, remind me a little bit when she sort of flips up into a higher register and is breathy. I hear a lot of Lara Fabian there. I'd be interested to know.
À demi, parlez de moi, à vos amours, à vos amis, parlez-leur de cette fille aux yeux noirs et de son rêve fou.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she sounds like a lot of other singers. I don't know, but I mean, I'm more familiar with Lara Fabian. And I've heard her do a lot of French and Italian songs and things like that. And so maybe that's what's triggering my ear. But there's a certain way that Lara expresses herself where her breath is part of the melody, right? She expresses herself through her breathing as much as she does with the notes that she sings. And so I kind of hear like notes of that here, like it's kind of colored a little bit that way. And to me, that's always magical. In fact, that's part of the reason that set me off in the first place. Aside from the magnitude of it all, you know, obviously in the back of your mind, you're thinking about this young girl who's got hardships and all of that sort of stuff. And she's managed to overcome all of that and become this incredible talent that we see before us. You know, I mean, it's, you know, the music also caters a little bit to that sort of overwhelming sensation. Anytime where there's big sweeping sort of forlorn or, morose kind of movements in the strings and things that sort of make you feel a certain way. I mean, there's a reason that in cinema, one of the most important aspects of a great film is the soundtrack and the score. It makes you feel, right? And I mean, essentially that's what we're watching here. We're watching a film with a score about a young girl up against the world with, you know, incredible obstacles. And yet she's able to overcome that and draw in the purity of the environment around her and project hope and wonder and awe. And that's, I mean, every great movie in the world wishes it had that kind of a soul at its core, right? And then you add to that this beautiful score, cinematic score underneath, and it's like a mini film that makes you feel everything throughout its program, right? And so you start off all breathy and emotional, but still kind of, you know, it's sort of, there's a tinge of sadness there, and then it gets darker and darker as it goes along. And then when you sort of get to the third act of the song, suddenly it sort of lifts and there's this big emotional sort of explosion of power and passion that sort of takes you further up. And then, of course, then if that's not enough, then there's the key change, where every time there's a dramatic pause and a key change, boy, does that knock you on your butt, you know? And so...
Mais moi, tout ce que j'ai d'ici, c'est ma gueule, c'est mon cri. Mais voilà, mais voilà, mais voilà, voilà.
And so now you have that sort of carnivale kind of waltz swagger that sounds like a ballroom dance at the end of like Beauty and the Beast or something, where you feel like the music is spinning around you, you know, like a waltz. You can just imagine all of these beautiful Disney characters waltzing around you as you sort of, you know, there's like, it's almost like this, you're descending into madness, right? And you know, you've gone through this passionate sort of like, you know, hero's journey along, and then it sort of is all falling away into magic, right? And then playing with the tempo when it speeds up as well. It's this chaotic kind of disorder, but in the most beautifully organized way. Key change. Oh my God. Now it seems hopeful and joyful. How is... This is where it starts to pick up pace, right? Oh my God. Unbelievable. What a journey. Like, it's, man. I mean, can somebody fill me in the comments? As I said, I'm really ignorant in regards to this kind of thing. Who composed this? Where is it from? Is it from a soundtrack? Is it from like a musical or something? I really don't know. I'm not familiar with the song, but I'd love to know, because it just seems like there's too much in it to just be a regular sort of, you know, like a standard vocal, you know, vocal song. It's beautifully, I mean, it could be the arrangement too. Maybe Andre did something magical with the arrangement of it and sort of changed it up a little bit. Either way, I need to know. I need to know more. And, you know, God damn it, now I'm interested. I've fallen into the trap, haven't I? This is what's going to happen. I'm going to be the guy lining up for the André Rieu DVDs. Anyway, look, that's about all I can say about that one. Obviously, that was magical. It was incredibly moving. It was definitely a surprise. You know, I didn't know how I was going to react to a violin performance or something like that. You know, like, I mean, obviously, classical music has the ability to inspire incredible amounts of emotion and such a diverse range of emotions as well. And so, you know, I knew something was coming, but the fact that my friend, who's definitely not into this kind of thing, messaged me and said, you need to check this out. I knew that there was something, but I could not have been prepared for what that was. You'll have to excuse the tears. As I always say, the older I get, the more emotional I get and the more that I fall apart. And the thing that makes it worse is watching people in the audience. Every time the camera pans to the audience and I'm watching them try to keep it together, that's the worst thing for me. That's what tips me over the edge. Thanks again. I hope you enjoyed that. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by buying me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. Or, you know, you can just like, share, follow, subscribe. If there's any groups that you're in that might be interested in watching this reaction, please share it. That'd be great as well. Thanks again. Stay primal. I'll catch you on the next one.